How we doing? It's good old Uncle T, Solomon Tupu here on the air, and you're listening to Sit Down Mark's podcast.
That's the difference between you and me. You talk about it, I do it.
Sit down, Marks!
Let me talk to you. Acknowledge me.
What's happening? What's happening? Come on in, people. Sit down. It's time to talk a little Wrestlemania because it's Wrestlemania season. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Come on in. Sit down. Episode number 186 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Today, like you heard me off the top, it's Wrestlemania season. Let's get this thing going, man. Let's bring the boys in. First of all the way over on the East Coast with the most, the OG with me, Primo. What's going on, brother?
'Tis the season to be a wrestling fan. Gotta love it. It is the road to WrestleMania, and we are down that final stretch, about to make our exit this weekend as we hop off for the 2-day extravaganza.
And the guy with the green hat, he's got the green hat, so he's back to himself. We can recognize him now. You know, when he takes the green hat off, he's like Cena. You know, we don't see him, we can't recognize him. You know, but he's back from a long weekend of wrestling. The front row sitter, Dylan. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, what's up, boys? It is the best week of the year. Yeah, I've been home for like maybe 2 hours since Saturday morning, catching all the wrestling this weekend. It's Mania week, boys. I mean, hey, I got to say real quick, are we the best dressed wrestling podcast out there?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
all three of us just absolutely brought the fire today.
Bar none,
man.
brother. Bar none.
We are
Mania,
celebrating the week.
We are. Primo rocking the Roman Reigns, the one finger in the air. Dylan got the old school, looks like he best in the world shirt, right? CM Punk, yeah.
CM Punk.
Yeah,
yes,
of course,
sir.
yeah. And then the old man's bringing in the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant. You know, he's got his newly announced, once again, retirement match coming up in Lancaster, South Carolina. You know, I'm trying to make it happen. I'm trying to go. I want to go and see the Boogie Woogie Man one last time. Jimmy. Yeah, I got you. I'm trying to make it happen. Because, but you know, the schedules are busy. And what's even funnier, man, is like I was looking at the schedule. So he's in like Lancaster, South Carolina, which is close to the North Carolina border, right? I can be back in North Carolina in no time, right? And Tully Blanchard's at a show on Sunday. You know, that's right around there too, and I'm like, man, what a weekend!
What a weekend!
But, yeah, like, but I got
stars are aligning, man.
They are, man. Yeah, they are. So, but stay tuned. I was like, just in wrestling, man, never close the door, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Jimmy's, I think he's in his maybe 80s, 70s now, like 80s. You know what I mean? And like, but I never thought I'd have a chance to possibly go see his last match again, but yeah, here we are, never say never, you know what I mean? So, all right, boys. So WrestleMania season, man, here we are. Before we get into Mania, dude, we kind of talked about, pre-pod just for a minute, that, the way they closed Raw this past Monday was the best, I think, of any, like Punk finally told the story of, okay, like I'm jealous, and I'll be honest, I haven't been very happy with what's been going on in WWE lately, with Pat McAfee, with you know, the celebrities that are in their jelly roll, you know, all that stuff, you know what I mean? That just tunes me off. But man, this promo really brought me back in last night because you got to watch the Raw before Mania, you know what I mean? To see how it's all going to go down and go home. And man, this was sick. And I love this promo, you know, like it all made sense, you know, why, you know, Punk really has so much hate, you know, he's jealous of Roman because of, you know, like you said, everything handed to him on a silver platter and, you know, all this kind of stuff. But you know, asking you guys before we get started, man, going into Mania, I mean, that Raw had to make you feel real good, right?
Yeah. I really liked how that went down. You know, it went from, if you come in this ring, I'm going to kick your ass, to, you know, at the end there, they look like they're ready to fight, but a little bit more understanding there at the end. Also, too, I was thinking about this yesterday before Raw, that, you know, a few years ago, it was like the go home week, right? Raw and SmackDown. Now Raw is the go home show.
Right.
Like, SmackDown's a part of WrestleMania now. A lot of times. So, no, I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought the way that, never mind. I just thought the way that Brock and Oba were kind of like come out at different times, that was kind of corny and lame. But those dudes are finally gonna lock horns this weekend. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it in the actual preview. But I have really liked the Roman Punk storyline. Now, the rest of it, as Pat McAfee will tell you, has been shit. So I don't know why we're even talking about it, because, you know, they're coming right and telling us, hey, this is trash. What are you doing paying for it? But yeah, I thought the overall Raw, I thought was kind of just okay. I get you don't want to put too much out right in front of Mania, and you don't want your guys getting hurt, you know, 6 days before Mania, 5 days before Mania. But that go home segment, like you said, BD, whatever you are, whoever you are, absolute fire. I liked Roman's coming out there and being like, I'm jealous that you went away for 10 years and fans still chanted your name. Like, that's
legit.
Home. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, you were here every week, and we can't, you know, get anybody cheering your name for the whole time they're trying to push you down our throats, and Punk's gone and we're still clamoring for him. I was like, yeah, that last night, it wasn't a bunch of yelling. It didn't get physical. They were just kind of, you know, face to face with each other, being honest. I thought it was extremely good.
All right, let's jump into it, boys. Here we go. Hot start time. 5 topics in the world of professional wrestling, if you will. First up, boys, let's talk a little AEW Dynamite results. Kind of looks weird. I got a Dynasty graphic on top of WrestleMania. It's like there's a war going on here. Oh my God. But this was this past Saturday night, or excuse me, this past Sunday night. AEW Dynasty was in Vancouver.
Wish it was Saturday night.
Right, British Columbia. Yeah, especially another 4-hour, 11-minute pay-per-view from bell to bell, beginning to end. You know, I think it was like 12 matches or so. You know, I'm gonna talk about a few here that we liked. You know, when I get to about that 3.5-hour mark, that's when I'm like almost totally tapped, you know, right? But man, once I got to, you know, I was like, all right, well, they had the trios match right before MJF and Omega. I was like, man, if I can just get to those entrances, man, then I'm gonna be fired up, you know. And I was, and I stayed up, ended up watching it. But they kicked off the show with the Young Bucks match. They won after basically Takeshita left Okada, just kind of hang out, you know, because we got to go back to that. We got to go back to Takeshita and Okada because there's so much more there. So I dug this. You know, Bucks got to win after losing in front of their friends and family and everybody they know, you know, in LA last pay-per-view. So they're kind of a little bit back on track, you know. Coming out early, too. Coming out right off the top, trying to get that little baby face pop right off the top, like, see what you're doing here, Young Bucks. See what you're doing. But you know, I do it too. It's my company, you know. But this was a, you know, decent match. It didn't knock my socks off. I like the hot opener. I felt like it kind of took, you know, from that a little bit. Wasn't super into it, but you know. But it might be hot for others. It wasn't hot enough for me. Let's just put it that way. But looking at this card, like I don't know what I would have liked to seen. Maybe lead off. Maybe, maybe that trios match, or maybe Andrade and Darby. But decent opener though. So I was optimistic. Okay, so Jericho comes out right next.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this though. He got an ovation pre-match, which totally warranted. I looked over at my wife who sat down. She's like, "Oh no, looks, Jericho here," and I was like, "Yeah, he's making his return." And I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "But I like to throw stuff at her, just see what she says." I got Ricochet needs to go over here. She goes, "No way, Jericho's losing." He just came back. Yeah. I'm like, no. Wrestling says that Ricochet needs to win here.
That's right.
The pageantry's over. He's got it already. But Ricochet, he's probably a terrible human being on social media, but man, that fucker can wrestle. And I haven't seen too many bad Ricochet matches, if I'm being honest. He's had stinkers like those, and we know Ricochet from the indies around here, too. But I thought this was the right move. I like this move here, and I was like, hell yeah, Jericho.
Yeah, I was talking to my brother about this, and yep, and I was telling him how before Jericho had his hiatus, he was catching a lot of heat, from always going over and stuff. I was like, here, the right move would be for him to take the pin, and obviously, I actually thought it was a good match, good return match for Jericho too. Jericho looks great shape. No, it was a fun match, and also to go back to that Young Bucks match, I actually really enjoyed that too as well. But I agree that Ricochet was needed to go over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised they went that way. I agree with y'all. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping Ricochet would go over, but I was like, okay, Jericho just came back. Like, is he really going to lose his first match back? Because Jericho, come on. And right. Sure enough, you put Ricochet over, and I think it's best for the story also because he's been back, I think 2 TVs maybe, and we really haven't got the ball rolling with it yet. He was kind of back, happy baby face, which, hey, he brought the list back, and maybe it was just coincidence. He brought the list back right after we dropped the list.
Hey.
I'm not saying anything, but that seemed pretty coincidental to me. But
sure.
Also, I love Jericho's really sparkly pants. I don't know why, but I was like, these are 100% Chris Jericho.
Those are Fozzy pants.
Nobody but Jericho could pull these off.
That's something I meant to mention
on those. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I loved it. Great match.
He brought back the list. Number one, he had sparkly pants on, which he hadn't done in a while. Mm-hmm. And the crowd was chanting Y2J during this match. So it's almost like, man, is this Jericho's final form? Is he coming back? Is all of his personas merging? Right. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I dug it too. My wife kept going, his chest looks so flat now. What happened? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, evolution. We're old. Things just start deteriorating a little bit.
Say ages Father Time's undefeated.
Yeah. Right. But next up was my second favorite match of the night outside of the main event. I'm an Andrade guy. I love Andrade matches. Dude, just a natural in there, man. Can't talk lick, but shoot. Dude can freaking run. And I love this match with Darby. I love the spot where, Darby or where Andrade, props up, puts his in the ropes and, Darby hit him like a dart, just kind of knocked him out, God, I hope we never ever see a wrestler, knock on wood, die, you know what I mean? But man, I feel like Darby pushes it a lot. He's trying to be the first. You know what I mean? I just feel like every match I watch of his, he's there's one spot where he's like, hey man, if I don't make it through, I appreciate the match. You know what I mean?
One spot every big match. It's hey, this might be the end.
This might be the one, dude. Yeah.
Go out on my shield.
Yeah. But he's number one contender now.
I think your actual favorite moment was when Andre took his pants off, but
Dude, his package is getting a lot of talk on it.
I was
online.
gonna say he was half chub out there, and he had ladies fainting in the front row. So
yeah. I mean,
Okay, my favorite part about this though, he takes his pants off in like these big pay-per-view matches, right? But he doesn't have the breakaways that we see all the time.
no,
He like
he
actually
actually
has to like pull them over his boots
Right.
and struggles to get his boot out.
He's like,
Yeah.
shit.
I pop for that part every time. It's like it would be a
Right.
lot easier if you just had breakaways.
Uh,
Nope,
Like,
we're
this
gonna
is
take
a
the
bad
time.
idea.
Yep, go over the knee
would.
pads, over the boots. I love it.
and he's just pulling them straight down like we take our pants
Yeah.
off. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
man,
He's
his
one of us,
his package is gonna fall out eventually. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
so
man.
but
I
yeah,
feel like those trunks
hilarious.
were really thin.
I mean, if you got it, lay it out there, I guess, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'll echo DB on this. So I absolutely loved this match.
Mhm.
It's hard to say for sure, but I think since he's came back to AEW up until now, I think this might be my favorite stretch of Andrade's career. It's just like every match is hitting on all cylinders. And there was a little handshake after the match. So I don't know if we're going to have, Andrade turning face. He's already been kind of beefing with MJF when Callis is like making deals with MJF and stuff.
Yeah.
Andrade's like, wait, why are we working with him? And Darby's number one contender. The match is this week on Dynamite. I'm praying they don't try hot shot in this title to Darby, just so people are talking about AEW come WrestleMania week. Like, let's just don't get too crazy with it, TK. We can do a good old Darby MJF match, but we don't need the title on Darby right now.
Right. I agree. I don't want to do anything quick to I don't want to do anything like that
Yeah, I
was
either.
gonna say,
no.
It's
Yeah.
kind of hard for me to. I like Darby Allin, but if
I do
Kenny
too.
Omega doesn't
Yeah.
beat MJF, then why would I have Darby Allin beat MJF?
Right.
There's just a sliver of me that's like, okay, they're doing this match the week of WrestleMania. Like, why are they not waiting? Why?
And,
what's-
it's in Darby's.
It's in a Darby's hometown, or
Exactly.
yeah. Like,
Right.
Don't get crazy here, TK.
Seattle. Yeah, Wednesday. FTR retained the tag titles versus Cope and Christian. This was a nice move here. Good feud we can get, out of this match. I thought it was good. Like the boys are getting old, man. Like the slowness is there. Like I feel like they just need to just traditional old school match. You know what I mean? Let's don't do any running spots, high spots. Let's just brawl, and I felt like they did that a little more on this one. You know what I mean? This was fun. You know what I mean? But I don't want to see no quick tag, titles on Cope and Cope. I still feel fucking weird saying that. It's like Edge,
it's
you know
a
what I mean?
stupid name.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, Christian. So, but yeah, this was decent. You guys got any thoughts on that one?
Man, when he hit him with that title, and it just went right out of his forehead. That was pretty cool. I know he's been doing it for a few years, but Christian in the turtleneck just doesn't really get my jaws off like that. So I like my Christians in other ways.
Right.
But no, this was fine. I thought it was the result that I thought was going to happen.
So I'm going to go the opposite way. I enjoyed the match, but I thought they were going to put it on Cope and Christian because, they just came back or doing this in Canada, which wasn't their hometown, but you know how wrestling treats Canadians. If you're in Canada, it's like you're in your hometown, no matter where you're at. And that's the second straight pay-per-view. FTR was in enemy territory. The Bucks in LA last time, Cope and Christian in Canada this time. And that's two straight, title retentions, I think is the right word. I don't know.
Sure.
But I was surprised there, but I like it at the same time. I'm with DB. I don't have to see Cope and Christian with the tag titles. I kind of think we're going to get there just so they can, add that to the resume of we held tag titles in however many different decades and however many different companies. But yeah, solid match. Not the best one on the card, but I loved it or liked it.
The big swerve of the night, I think, came next. They did this casino gauntlet for the TNT championship, and Kevin Knight won. I was like, whoa. I was like, I didn't hate it. I don't say I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. You know what I mean? But mean, that was kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? So, yeah, how do they move forward with him, you know, being in jet speed and all that, you know?
I don't know. You know, they had him and Speedball kind of teaming with Hangman in that trios, and Hangman's not been on TV since he lost the title match. And, you know, he and Speedball are both good enough. They can give them both singles runs, but I like him as a team. And they have kind of been like slowly building up Kevin Knight, you know, stuff with like I think he had a match with Swerve. I know he had a match with MJF, a match with Okada, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they kind of have been slowly building him up. Like you said, DB, I like him winning the title. I don't know how long Fletcher is going to be out, but he and Fletcher would be a good title match there. But yeah, I didn't see it coming either. I figured, you know, they'd go somewhere else with it. But yeah, good for Knight.
Speaking of Fletcher too, man, another start-stop for him, man. I'm like, God, you know what I mean? Like every time they, you know, you got to think they got to run in him at some point, but I'm like, dang, you know.
Did either one of you hear or read what the injury was? I never saw that. Did they say anything?
I didn't
hear
see
it
either.
Yeah. But hopefully it's not too long of a exodus out, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Injury stint.
Next up, Tekla retained the women's title over Jamie Hayter. I don't have too much about that one. Mox retained the Continental title over Will Ospreay. You guys got any of those two?
No, I just laugh. Hey, glazed over that.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
that match did
I know you don't
me.
care for Tekla.
I don't.
I mean,
that's why I gave y'all two.
My first time really paying attention to her, to be honest. I thought she looked pretty cool. Beyond that, it was fine. Yeah, the spider thing's kind of dumb. But moving on from there, what was the other match? Moxley and Ospreay. Yeah, that match was sick. I like that a lot. They played the story of the neck of Ospreay attacking Moxley's neck in the beginning, and then they just went all in on Mox just killing Ospreay's neck.
Yeah. I liked Tekla and Hayter. I thought it was very good. You know, it didn't make like my match of the night or nothing like that. But for what it was, I thought it was very good. And like Primo said, I loved Mox and Ospreay.
Definitely.
I wish they had not had Ospreay doing all these matches on TV beforehand. If they had brought him in, not have him wrestle before the pay-per-view and kind of have this, you know, I might be coming back too early. I hope my neck can go. I hope I can still do everything like I could beforehand.
Right.
And then we have Mox out, dropping him on his neck over and over again. I think it would have hit even better. But hey, when you can do Ospreay and Blake Christian on TV, you got to go with it. It's also kind of wild, just like take the kayfabe out of it. You know, the guy was out with an injured neck. And when he comes back, we're like, hey, let's just drop you on your neck over and over again for this story. You know, let's see how this goes. That's why Ospreay's crazy. But yeah, great.
Remember how that match started too? Like with the
the hidden blade. I mean?
Yeah, the hidden blade right off the bat, like he had him out and he was just kind of showboating a little bit, you know, and then, you know what I mean? I was like, kind of weird, you know what I mean? But like, I mean, obviously he's gonna be, you know, like regretting it and stuff, but I enjoyed this match, you know. I'm first to admit it, you know, like, you know, and Primo can tell you, know, I've never been a Mox guy, but I'm closer to a Mox guy now than I was, say, 2 or 3 years ago, because damn dude just puts on good matches. I think it's the gyrating and the, you know, that I think that's what kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. Like, I don't understand that sometimes. I don't think it does anything. I don't think it does anything to his character, but you know, what do I know? But I'm just like, you know, it's like weird ways I can spit out water or something, you know. But Death Riders, the like leader, like I love all that part of it. You know what I mean? Like and like I said, most of his matches I really do like. But so we got the main event time. MJF retains after basically a Falsey fest. But you know, the Heat Seeker ended up closing the deal. My favorite move of this whole match was that one winged angel off the top rope. that was a thing of beauty, man. That
It was
thing
sketchy
was
as fuck, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I know. That's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so this is my wrestling fandom right here. So, okay, Dylan knows this because we've actually been talking about this a lot lately. Like, I'm not a deathmatch fan, right? I'm not a deathmatch fan, but give me like a wrestling move that's really hard to pull off and sketchy and like and takes, you know what I mean, like is on the edge of like disaster, like, you know, and then that lands, that pops me just about as good as anything else. You know what I mean? Like, you know, which, you know, it's different than smashing a light tube over somebody's head, but you know, in the same sense, like that uncertainty of that little half a second in there, you know what I mean, when the move is happening, you know, kind of like brings me back in. But I think like sound like what that One Winged Angel kind of did to me. I'm like, oh man, I was like, you know what I mean. But yeah, any thoughts on the main event though? Right, like I didn't want to see Kenny put on it yet. I mean, but like it still feels like he's next though. You know,
I wanted
like,
Kenny to win.
I was hoping Max retained. I really
like, I'm
hope
totally
Max
okay with it.
Yeah, I hope Max. I was about to say Mox. I hope Max and Ospreay at that Wembley show. I hope that is a direction they're going. But yeah,
Sure.
I thought the main event was great. If they would have just, you know, if he could have like had him up for that One Winged Angel on the second rope, and then for no good reason, like put a syringe through his face and then hit the move, it would have made it like
God.
10 times better.
Yeah.
Oh my
there's
God.
so much sarcasm there.
I
Please
know, I
pick
love
up
it.
that sarcasm.
I did.
But yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it was such a small bit, but so important. The punch with the ring, it was to the gut. You know, Kenny's had all the
Sure.
diverticulitis issues and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't the
Really.
same cheap shot to the forehead we've seen MJF pull off 100 times. It
Right.
was a nice little uppercut to the gut there. And then the tombstone through the table was sick. I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Max might be the first one to kick out of a One-Winged Angel in AEW. The one off the middle he rolled out of, and then he hit another one, and the ref was down. They had to
it
bring
wasn't
in a
3
new
count,
guy.
though.
Right. I mean, it was, you know, 30 seconds
15,
later or whatever.
yeah.
But he still kicked out, which
It was
I'm
a very
sure
protected
MJF will
move for
bring
a
up.
long time. Yeah, but I just
Yeah,
don't
I
know
think
if he's.
I think that's how they'll have a technicality there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like and I'm not, you know, arguing that point. But if you're Max, you got to show up on Dynamite and say, "Hey, I
Right.
kicked out of the One-Winged Angel." Yeah, I thought it was a great way to end the show. I don't really want to go into detail about it. We kind of skipped over it. You mentioned at the beginning, but the trios match, man, this is back-to-back pay-per-views. We're doing a trios match right before the main event, and nobody
Yeah.
cares. I don't know if
Right.
that's like the
I think
intended
it's by,
spot. Like,
it's got to be
hey,
by design.
yeah, like we're going to throw this out here now. It's like kind of a buffer.
And
but,
they even
man,
changed titles
Jay-
too.
Yeah,
Conglomeration.
and I was-
got 'em, yeah.
I was so glad to see Kyle back. I liked their little like sketch opening they did.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I think the hoodie hanging up by the door had Kyle's father's initials or name on it or something, and he just passed, so that was kind of a nice little touch. There, huge Kyle fan. So glad he's back. But I was like, this pay-per-view is going to go 4.5. We can take out 15 here. But
Yep.
yeah, we'll hop on that every pay-per-view. Great
I
main
mean,
event.
Yeah. All right, real quick, let's smell and mark it on the way out. I'm gonna go 8 because 12 matches. 8 of those I liked. You know what I mean? I didn't love. I loved 2 of them. You know what I mean? But I don't think it deserves a worse rating because there's about 3 or 4 matches that I didn't like or mediocre. So I'm gonna go 8. What about you, Primo?
so I'm gonna go 7 3/4. But here's why. I'd go 8. I really enjoyed myself. It's a lot of wrestling,
Yeah.
but it was Sunday night, and I got to work at 5 a.m. on Monday, and it didn't end until midnight.
Yeah.
So I made the irresponsible choice of watching wrestling and then going to work late the next morning.
Right.
So
Do it for the brand. Man.
so it got
Yeah.
docked a quarter there for me.
Fair.
That's what you get for living on the East Coast. It's only 11:30 for us. So, like, to be honest, I watched a bunch of this on my phone or my iPad in like spurts. I didn't get to sit down and watch the whole thing live. I was driving. So it's kind of harder to judge it that way when you're watching it in segments instead of all at once. I'm going to go 7.5. I think the last pay-per-view I gave it like an 8 or a 9, and I thought this was a step down from their last pay-per-view. So I don't want to, give it an equal rating if I didn't think it was as good. But it's still a really good pay-per-view. Like you said, DB, out of 12 matches, I'm probably right there around that 8 or so spot that I really liked. It's hard to complain about that, but I thought the Revolution, if I remember right, I thought it was a little better. So I'm going to go 7.5 on this one.
All right. Topic number 2, Sid just got inducted into the WWE Legacy Hall of Fame along with Bad News Brown. We were talking last week because they had put in Demolition, Rodman, Stephanie McMahon, AJ. Who am I missing?
Karl Malone. Not Karl Malone. Dennis
Rodman. Yeah, I said that one. Yeah,
wrong NBA player.
But I think these are the first 2 legacies. So that means at the Hall of Fame they'll have a video package, but their family won't get to speak. Is how they kind of separate this out of legacy. It's like basically the Legacy Award to me is the Hall of the Very Good. It's not the Hall of Fame; it's the Hall of the Very Good. I mean, why have a legacy wing?
It's the Hall of we screwed up and didn't put these guys in when they were alive,
right?
And so instead of having their son or their whatever come out, we're just gonna. I think this is going on at midnight East Coast time.
Tribute package.
They might be trying to speed this up a bit. So yeah, let's put them in and recognize them, but let's not spend too long doing it.
Right. Yeah. And then of course Bad News Brown. I'm questioning that one a little bit, but that was before I found out it was this legacy deal. That kind of makes more sense to me. If it's what I mean. So, with Dennis Condrey still out there, you know what I mean? But whatever, what is what it is, man. Any thoughts on Sid though? The original ruler.
I mean, he's not already in it. Guess not.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm pumped to see him go in.
It feels like he should be though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good runs everywhere, back and forth, WCW, WWF, a fun little stint in ECW. I'm glad he's finally in. I'm glad Bad News Brown is in too.
Sid Justice?
You're not, Dylan. You just want to say nothing bad about anybody.
Man, no.
You're not.
No, he ranted last episode too.
Yeah, Bad News Brown. Good spot. Let's go. The Harlem Sewer Rat, man.
He might just deserve to get in on that nickname alone. That is pretty I love that. That's how like when you like a dirty dog, right? I'm not a Harlem sewer rat. Topic number 3, boys. They couldn't let the man be. He's back. John Cena is hosting WrestleMania. I don't know. Some say it's to sell some tickets. Some say it's to generate some interest. Some say it's because Cena don't want to quite leave yet. Either way, love seeing Cena back for Mania. Yeah. I'm happy about that. Why not?
I tell you what, I'm damn happy it's not like Cardi B or somebody. So,
oh, dude, tell me about it. Yes, that's.
I mean, we're also the thing about so when Cardi B did it, she came out to the ring. It was SummerSlam, right? I don't know what exactly she did. I don't remember, but that was it. That was her hosting SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And so I hope John Cena hosting WrestleMania means he actually has a more host role. We see him more,
Right.
Obviously, sure. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want to see Cardi B more, but if you're going to host something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, like Primo was talking about, I was at NXT Stand and Deliver a couple weeks ago, and I'm so not cool. I just don't know what's going on. I think Sexy Red is the person's name, I think. She hosted it, which was her coming out and saying hi to Shawn Michaels, and then I did it backstage. And that was it, which I was fine with.
Yes.
Like my favorite part about this, we got to have a John Cena and Danhausen interaction, and it is just going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't know. I've only thought like maybe one or two segments of Danhausen has been funny. I don't.
I've laughed at everyone.
Yeah, I'll just say maybe it's maybe I'm just missing it, whatever. But
Man.
yeah, I don't think it's all. But if this is funny, great. I love it. I don't want to. I'm gonna say I kind of thought that Danhausen might be the host because it kind of seemed like that might fall in right in line category for him. But yeah, I'm happy for this. Like, let Cena come kick off the show. Let him do a little backstage, this and that. We got to hear. We got to hear the interest music. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's good shit. But yeah, besides old Cena's back there.
Does he have jorts on?
Absolutely.
I doubt it. No, I doubt it.
Suit. Is he gonna be a suit?
Doubt it. Yeah.
You don't think he'll come out in a John Cena WrestleMania Vegas shirt that they can sell 10 million?
Or he's gonna come out in a Under Armour soaking wet dry fit like The Rock?
Nate don't like it that I didn't. So I'm probably gonna get cursed now for shitting on.
I have honestly found every Danhausen segment hilarious.
When DB has audio issues next pod, we know why. Yeah,
you are.
Wait, is this mic on?
Yeah.
Turn yourself up in your ears.
All right. Topic number 4, boys. I gotta throw it out there, man. So let me ask you guys: why is WWE having so many celebrities in this year's WrestleMania? I'm gonna step to the side. I'm gonna step to the side because y'all know my rant. But I want to ask you guys, like, what do y'all think's the reason? Like, why Jelly Roll? Why Pat McAfee? Is that a sidestep? Why who's this other guy coming out with Trick?
That's Lil Yachty. That's a rapper.
Yeah, so he's like training or something now too, but obviously they're trying to get him over because he's coming out with Trick. But what do you think, Dylan? Why don't you go first on this, man? What do you think? Why?
Oh boy.
Pop culture?
I think this is TKO, not like Triple H, not Bruce Pritchard, not Abyss, not Bobby Roode. It's TKO
right,
trying to get any little bit of celebrity endorsement they can get. Are people really buying tickets to see these people? I doubt it, especially at these prices. Like, I am so sick of this. It comes down to the main event for me. It's the Pat McAfee putting him right smack down in the middle of this Cody and Randy feud that we have been waiting 3 freaking years to see. And we don't need anybody. It doesn't matter. They could have put Stone Cold or The Rock or Ric Flair in this. And I still would have hated on it. But it's Pat freaking McAfee coming and take over this whole spot. And even worse, Pat McAfee's coming in and he's shitting on the product. That is his whole role here. He's coming in to tell us how bad this is. Why are you even spending your money? He said it in a promo on TV. There's nothing on Sunday we're spending your money for. So why the heck am I going to sit down and give you 5 hours of my life to watch it if you're saying it's not worth it? And on top of that, yeah, we got somebody with Trick. I just said it 5 minutes ago. I'm not cool. I don't know who these people are. Somebody is with Trick. We got I Show Speed out in that match with
There's another one. Yes.
Like Logan Paul, I'll give you a pass on Logan Paul. He's put his time in. He's, if I had my choice, would I choose to watch Logan Paul? No, I'd rather see somebody else. But I can forgive you on that one. He's basically a part of the roster at this point. But it's all over the place. Like, imagine WrestleMania 1. Okay, you got Mr. T in the main event. Okay, great. Everybody else is a side piece, you're getting the celebrity rub, but they're not in matches. I don't want to watch these people wrestle. Jelly Roll shows up every week like he's just a normal guy now. Why do we just accept Jelly Roll as part of this match? When we have to watch Jelly and Sia or Jelly and Cody versus Randy and Pat, I might skip that one. I am so sick of all this celebrity involvement.
Gospel, brother. Preach. What do you think,
I heard the rumor about that tag match you just mentioned, and I could not be any more flaccid on that. Like, that's crazy. That I don't want to see that. I don't care to see that. Now, as far as these other guys, so first of all, Jelly Roll, never cared to begin with, don't care now. Pat McAfee, I don't understand why he's there. I don't even understand. I don't even think that, like, it doesn't even really line up with stuff that happened just weeks before he showed up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? As far as what Randy was saying. And so anyway, he kind of just randomly showed up out of left field and then started talking shit about the current product and saying how the Attitude Era was better and blah, 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 blah. And then having this indirect feud with CM Punk. And then I Show Speed, I think that's an injury thing. I think that one is because of injuries.
I'll give you that.
Now, Logan Paul, I don't mean to defend Logan Paul, but he's a 2-time champion. He's definitely on the roster.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, Logan I can give you. But
yeah. Hey, who was the other one? I think that was all of them, right?
the Little Yachty guy was
Lil Yachty. I don't think he's actually doing anything. I think he just happens to be there. Because
again,
Trick Williams doesn't need a mouthpiece and he doesn't need a heater. So
yeah,
Lil Yachty's just there.
At least he's a side piece in it. At least it's not Trick and Little Yachty versus Sami Zayn and another celebrity.
Oh, and why isn't Carmelo? Oh, sorry, we're gonna get. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
Now rip it.
I was gonna say, why did Carmelo just get after carrying SmackDown for so long? All of a sudden, he's not in WrestleMania.
Right.
This should have been a triple threat at best.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up. I'm glad you did. Yeah.
Sammy's in enough of a tweener role right now where they could do pure babyface Carmelo, a heel Trick, and Sammy kind of play in the gray area middle and go heel after this. It would have worked fine. This is 3 straight years, guys. They have messed with the main event of WrestleMania like right before.
Same.
Like Rock came in, 3 or 2 years ago, tried to take Cody's spot, and everybody was like, "No, we're not doing this." And last year they had the Cena heel turn, but still had Rock and the guy's name I don't remember. I think he's still making his entrance. Come down, get involved in the main event. Rock doesn't even show up. We have Cena's big historic title reign, with some random. I don't remember the guy's name. That's kind of bugging me. But the singer guy, rapper guy that was in
Travis
there.
Scott.
Travis Scott. Thank you. Involved. And now this year, like Primo said, we're like 3 weeks before Mania. And they just randomly throw Pat McAfee in. It was going great. When Cody won the title from Drew, everybody complained. And I said, no, guys, we've been waiting for this Cody Randy story for 3 years. Let it go. It's going to be okay. And they took this great piece of meat they had, and they let it marinate in shit for 3 weeks and said, here's your main event. I hope you enjoy it. So, by the way, we're going to tell you a shit before we even get there. But still, hey, pay us your money, pay $30 to ESPN, and spend 10 hours of your weekend watching this.
When we're all supposed to believe that Pat was on the other line the whole time. Okay.
Right.
We're just fish over here.
If it had been Ric Flair on the line, who cares? We've been waiting on this Cody Randy story for 3 years.
Right,
we spent 3 years of Randy looking at the title and every, backstage, every time he's on stage. And now we're doing this. I'll shut up. I know we're running along.
When Randy went off and turned on Cody, that was awesome. They could have just kept and built on that alone.
Well, as we say on the Indies, this is some overbooked bullshit right here, man.
Well, this is corporate bullshit, is what this is. Yeah. This is people sticking their fingers in wrestling that don't need to.
Yeah.
And I will say again, they're doing our boy Carmelo Hayes wrong. Not just keeping him out of the show like this.
And how? No doubt about that. All right. Top number 5, man. Let's talk about this because this stuff never had, you would think in this physical sport that, wrestling is that this would happen, more than it does. But back on TNA pay-per-view Sacrifice, Macklin got knocked out in the main event from in a match with Mike Santana, and they had the, in the pay-per-view right there. When I see that, man, that really like put into perspective that like how wrestling is a game of inches, right? Like always, you know what I mean? It's constant and so I guess like what I'm getting back to is like, when as physical as wrestling is and as little, knock on wood, that's the plan, right? That this stuff happens like where, something like this happens, that's when like I really want to give like a big tip of the cap to the professionals in wrestling who, this is why you train. This is, what, this is kind of like what it's all about, and just shows that, and I think like he basically just ate a super kick that went wrong, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just a super kick. And we see injuries happen way more than we see people get knocked out. That was kind of my big thought is, we see people, blow a knee, blow a shoulder, or whatever. We see that from time to time, but like people getting knocked out, it doesn't seem like we see it happen too long. But the ref was right on top of it. There was no extra damage, extra bumps, nothing like that. Is he got it connected? He got caught, and they stopped it right away, which sucks for the people there. That sucks for Santana also, but Macklin, because that story they had built up was very good. I loved that way more than I thought I would. And then just to have that big blow off main event end like 3 or 4 minutes in the match, like it wasn't long, it was early on, and tough to see.
Yeah, tough to see. Macklin, he's a former soldier, dude's tough as nails. Just, I think it just kind of like caught him on the button. They just had to, but you think that would happen more than it does. So, just want to shout out to everybody, all the wrestlers that, that put the work into, like I said, it's a game of inches. They can go wrong, in a wild second, but just kind of thought we should talk about that, and shout out to Macklin too. He's right back at it. And so glad to see that didn't do anything long term. So, all right, before we go, boys, we got something brand new we've been doing. It's called the City Shout Out, where we shout out a city that's been loyal to the Sit Down Mars podcast, that's been downloading episodes, for quite a while, or maybe, maybe they're new, but I went back into the archives. I went back and looked and, found that those cities that are kind of like, been downloading from the beginning. And, and we're going to talk about a little city. Drum roll, please. The city, I guess, today, city shout out is Cheshire, Connecticut. Hey, now, this is one of the towns that showed up on our analytics that downloaded, over 5 years ago. So we wanted to give a big shout out to everybody up there that's been listening to the podcast. And I looked up to find out a little fact about Cheshire, Connecticut. It is the bedding plant capital of the world. Wow. Whatever that means. I don't know. Like if you're from Cheshire, Connecticut, the bedding, bedding, bedding plant capital of the world. I know if there's any women listening right now, they totally understand this. We're looking like deer in headlights right now, but I'm thinking like it's like we're like, okay, so if you have like a whole bunch of plants like together in your backyard, it's called a bed. So I'm thinking like everybody has a bunch of those around town, or I've never been there, so it's probably like a lot of bedding plants around. But
hey, must be
either way. So thank you, Cheshire, Connecticut, so much. Please continue to download the podcast. We appreciate the support. And now,
thank you, Cheshire, Connecticut.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it. So, all right, it's time for the Dropkick discussion, Primo. Before we do, let's hear a word from Space Jesus, if you will.
If you will, baby.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to Sit Down Mark's podcast with Primo, DB, and AJ.
All right. Well, if you're new to podcasts, thank you for downloading and subscribing. I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook right now. But if you're new to WrestleMania and you want, basically, I think we've caught you up. Everything that's been going on here lately, like we gave you the good and bad of what's happening. So now, it's time to talk about WrestleMania predictions. What do we think's going to happen? Do I have night one first? Is that right? Night one?
That is two.
That is two. Okay, my bad. Here's night one.
Yeah.
All right, so night one with Cody Rhodes and Orton being in the main event. So let's talk about the first two matches, which I'll be honest, man. So I'm going to be at volleyball tournament. So I'm going to be watching a lot of this probably on my phone in between games in the car, that kind of stuff. Cause my daughter's in volleyball and we got matches all day. So really, I like the idea of, putting a couple matches on ESPN, which they're doing. So night one, the first hour, the first two matches are McIntyre and Fatu. Is one of the first two matches. So for the first time in a while, us three are going to, I don't know if there's going to be a prize or nothing, but we're going to Dylan's going to take a record of our choices of who wins, and we're just going to see who does the best at picking matches all weekend. So let's start off with McIntyre and Fatu first. Here looks like that might be the match that might lead off WrestleMania Saturday night, night one. Give me McIntyre here. I don't think I feel like I don't know. Drew, I don't think we need to make Fatu yet. I mean, this is an unsanctioned match, so it's probably going to be, kind of like, all over the place. But, Drew hadn't had a big match in Mania win in a while. So just give me Drew for the win. Nate says Fatu.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Go ahead, Dylan.
I'm going to go Fatu also. Drew's just coming off the title reign. So unless they have, plan to get him back there, I think it'll be Fatu getting elevated. Now, unfortunately, I think the Cody, Randy, Pat story is going to keep going, and we'll get there in a minute. So I don't really see either one of these guys getting like a title shot off of this. But I think this is Fatu's, all gas, no brakes, as he says. I think
this is the first match. We're probably going to start with a baby face too. So, but I'll stick with Drew.
First of all, this match doesn't belong on the first hour. I think it should swap with the women's tag team match, but that's just me. But second of all, I think that Fatu is going to go over here. I think he needs it more than Drew. Fatu's had a couple back and forth hiatuses that were unexpected, and he's back, and he's still got that fire behind him, and I think he just needs the win more than Drew. Drew is like, I don't know. I don't think losing hurts Drew at all. He's honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I choose Fatu.
Next up, the 6-man tag team match, the Usos and LA Knight. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Logan Paul and Austin Theory and I Show Speed.
That's what I said when this match was announced. Oh, shit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Give me the tag team champs. I'll take the bad guys again on this one. So, yeah.
I'll go next, Dylan. And this one, you know what? Give me the 3 actual wrestlers here. Give me nothing to take away anything from Theory, but give me LA Knight and the Usos. Arguably one of the greatest tag teams of the last 20 years.
Yeah, I think that they are going to win, the Usos LA Knight team. I think they're going to win, and I kind of think Speed's going to be the one to get pinned. And then like Logan and Theory are going to jump him after, or there'll be something like that where they don't lose the match per se, and we can blame it on the streamer. But I would rather this match just not be happening. But hey, oh well. Yeah, give me the Usos and LA Knight. Yeah.
All right, next up, Seth. Yeah! Next up, Seth Rollins versus Gunther. I want to pick Seth, but nah, give me Gunther. I'll take Gunther. No real reason. I just feel like there's going to be a funny finish here. I just don't feel like, would probably kickstart a really hard feud if Seth made Gunther tap out, but I don't think they want to kill him off that bad yet. So I don't know. I feel like there'll probably be something screwy with the finish, but Gunther to win. I know, right? Well, I'm kind of picking him too because I'm gonna need something back here. I think I'm gonna lose. I know I'm gonna lose at least the first one probably, but I know y'all gonna probably take Seth. So
go ahead, Dylan.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Gunther. I'm sticking with DD.
Yeah.
I think they have absolutely made chicken salad out of chicken shit in this case. I don't know what the plan was for Gunther because it didn't seem like he really had anything going on.
It wasn't this.
Seth was, clearly, yeah. Seth and Braun Breaker was, I'm assuming, the match. That's what all signs pointed to. And, injury to Braun Breaker, injury to Bronson Reed, heck, injury to Seth Rollins. coming back and, having Gunther attack him, but then having Gunther be like, I'm not a Paul Heyman guy. I'm doing this so Heyman owes me a favor. And, we're all speculating that's going to be Brock down the road. I think you got to keep going with Gunther after he retired Cena. The only way Seth wins is if Sabotage Sean Logan shows up in a mask and screws over Gunther. Other than that, I think Gunther's got this one.
Yeah, so this random ass match that was thrown together out of the blue, just about as random as Pat McAfee showing up. I think it's going to be fine because both these guys can put on a banger. I obviously got to go with the modern day GOAT, the visionary, the architect, Seth Rollins over fuck you, Gunther. And I just like this. Okay, it happened within the last 2 weeks? Random as hell. Obviously, it's because Braun wasn't ready, Braun Breaker, and I mean, you can't have a WrestleMania unless Seth. I mean, if Seth is not injured, then you can't have WrestleMania without Seth Rollins. Obviously, right. You could have had it without Gunther, but here he is. So I choose Seth freaking Rollins.
All right, next up, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the women's IC title. Becky wins the belt back here. The story's over for AJ. The pomp of circumstance, she's got it in. I don't see her doing much past Mania, I don't think. I think this is the run. So I think Becky wins the belt back.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I kind of feel like it's been going on for quite a while. So this kind of needs to be the end of the Becky AJ feud. If AJ's sticking around, I think she keeps it. If she's gone, I think she drops it. I have no way of knowing that. I'm actually going to go. Shoot, no, AJ's won like everything. I changed my mind right now. AJ's won a lot since he's been back. Yeah. I'm going to go Becky in this one.
You guys realize if Becky wins again, this will already be her third IC title reign. And the title has only had 3 champions.
Right.
Lyra, Becky, and AJ.
Maxine.
Maxine, you're right. Sorry. I forgot about
How could you forget about
her week of reign. And I really rooted for her too. They did her dirty. And then they fed her to Natty. But anyway, we're getting off track.
She sucks.
She does it with class though.
I know what y'all looking at.
Man, I honestly I don't want either one of these people to win.
This is what Pat's talking about. The show is shit.
Dude.
I don't care about this match a whole lot. I just feel like Becky's been in the IC title picture for over a year now, or just about a year. June will be when she won the first one. Sure. I mean, AJ's got to lose, right? So give it to Becky for her third reign.
All right. WWE.
You are going Becky, right? That is your pick, Primo. Becky?
Was that unsure enough?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Becky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure I got the sheet right here. Okay.
Begrudgingly.
All right, for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, we got a fatal 4-way. The champs, Nia and Lash versus Charlotte and Alexa versus Lyra and Bailey versus the Bella Twins.
Tell you what,
begrudgingly back.
The unstoppable forces retain here.
Same. I was gonna say I'm going retain too. I was gonna say if I think anything, Lyra and Bailey maybe but I think the Bellas are in this for clout. Charlotte Flair because they were the former champs. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going Primo too. Jackson.
I am going Bailey and Lyra. This is a year in the making. It was supposed to be Bailey and Lyra versus whoever the champs were last year. I've already forgot. And then they, took Bailey out the night of Mania and threw Becky in there. They are back a year later. Surely WWE wouldn't screw over Bailey in a big spot. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bailey and Lyra, new champs.
Okay, well I'm gonna stay with you, Dylan. Tell me what's happening then with the Kieran Morgan.
Hey, Liv's new music video is awesome.
It's
Stephanie's
like-
had the title since like last summer-ish
Sure.
or into the summer, something
Right.
like that.
Right.
I am going to go Liv, and I like this build a lot better than I thought I would. I thought it's been very
So you're
good.
going with all the
Go-
women's titles getting or changing hands.
Yeah, I guess so. I hadn't
Okay.
thought about that, but I'm going to go
Yeah.
Liv and her big goose egg on top of her head. Getting
Ooh.
Boy, that was a good one too, wasn't it? She was like sitting courtside at an NBA game the next day too. She had the big shiner on her forehead.
So I like what Nate said, and that's actually what I've been thinking. I've been talking to brother about this, brother KO. I want Liv to win. I think that Stephanie's been an okay champion, but I prefer Liv Morgan and as champion. But I see Raquel turning here on
Exactly.
Liv.
Yeah. This has got to be what happens here. Yeah.
Since Stephanie retains.
I
So
want Steph too.
I think that turn is the Monday after Liv's got the belt. The next
Sure.
honor is
Okay.
my
That's
prediction.
fair.
But both of you did say Steph,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
You're saying,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. All right, main event, boys. We're all attest to Pat McAfee being in the corner of Randy Orton. We've all waited for this match. Let me just say, minus Pat McAfee, I think Randy's winning. Now with Pat in it, I feel like Cody's retaining. I feel like it's not going to be at Mania for Randy now for whatever reason. Like I feel like it just looks too obvious, maybe it is, but I love to see Randy win, but I don't know, man.
Please, wrestling gods. I don't
I'm
care
going
that
Cody.
Pat McAfee is
I'm
randomly
going
here.
Cody.
Please do me this solid and please give Randy Orton the championship. I choose Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Now, 3 weeks ago, I was absolutely fired up for this. The last 3 weeks, I could not be more ready for it to be over. I do not care. Pat has said if Randy loses, Pat's never going to be back on WWE again. Could he be the heel and be like, oh, okay, well, I lied, or like I wouldn't plan on it, but TKO wants me here. Sure, they could pull some BS like that, but I think Randy is going to win because of Pat interference. And I think this is kind of why this is on Saturday. So we'll kind of end Saturday on a down note.
Yeah.
And we'll get some big happy ending on Sunday, whatever that is. But I'm gonna go Randy.
Okay.
Which we should be happy about that. Now we're like, oh,
I
it's gonna be
know.
Randy.
Yeah, right.
I'm
know,
going
we
to be
should
stoked if it's
like-
Randy, but
It's like
Asterisk.
I wanted nasty Randy to win with a fucking hell of an RKO to finish it, not with some fucking bullshit shenanigans or
A
whatever.
punch kick from Randy, not a punt kick from Pat.
There you go. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, just all, you know what I mean? So it just would have felt more pure. But you're right. Like Primo said, this is TKO now, and you too like it, that's where we are. So, but anyhow, all right, night 2. First hour on ESPN, and I was really shocked when I saw this one because, Dylan Primo already getting their Oba walk in. So we got Lesnar versus Oba Femi. Oba cut a pretty good promo last night. It was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
So, so he's getting better, and he's very beloved. He's already over with the walk, with the music. It's easy for the fans to chant Oba. If they're starting off with this, no way Lesnar's winning, man. So I'm going Oba and just for the hot start, big man opener. Yeah, don't screw this up right now. Yeah, I'm down too, man, for sure.
They are absolutely strapping every rocket they have to this guy. It's on big ESPN, not just on the app, like you were saying, DB.
Yeah.
In theory, way more people are going to be watching this match. I kind of question if it might be too much too soon just because he is such brand new to the roster.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the feels. I'm going with the strut. I'm going Oba kicking off WrestleMania Night 2 with a win.
Unless like Brock's getting ready to leave for a while and they're trying to get it in. You know what I mean? Before, you know what I mean? Or
yeah, but yeah,
I'm
going Oba. Yeah.
Bring back. Yeah, for sure. You going Oba Primo?
So this entire feud has been fun. We've known from basically the whole time Brock was like, whoever back there wants to challenge me. We knew it was going to be Oba. And also on a, more realistic note, we can probably, conclude that Brock has been kind of grooming Oba, taking him under his wing, teaching him how to act like a big man,
How to be a monster.
how to be a monster. I mean, it was him that told Oba to put his foot on his chest. He's, I feel like Brock wants to see him succeed just like anybody else. And I mean, dude is on fire. Hopefully they capture lightning in a bottle. I want to see Oba win, and I mean, I realize he's not just new to the main roster, but comparatively, he's new to the business altogether.
Right.
But yeah, put him over Brock Lesnar.
All right, the Intercontinental. This is the second match that, honestly, outside the main event, these are the two that I'm looking forward to. Saturday is Brock and Oba, and then the ladder match, Intercontinental Championship ladder match, Rusev versus Mysterio versus Evans versus Penta versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough. They were talking about all of the generations that are in this match. It's really, young. We got to sit up a little bit taller there.
Yeah.
That are in this match, and I was looking at this match today, man, and what would be the most fun, I think, there's going to be a lot of spots. There's going to be, but man, damn it. Give me Rey Mysterio to win this thing, man, and get the run, get the IC title. It's too soon for Javon. Let's just do spots. Penta was a good little carrier up until now. JD's a hell of a bumper if they are. You got your muscle in Rusev. Dragon Lee ain't winning that. No. Yeah, it's Ray, man. It's got to be Ray. I feel like this is you know what I mean? And then they can run it back with Dom.
Man, you kind of almost kind of talked me into it there.
He played it out there, didn't he?
Man, I really like Penta as champ.
Man, I do
I
too.
don't want to see him lose.
Yeah.
I'm torn between him and Javon. I saw Javon wrestle in the TWE arena for Action Futures. Now he's on WrestleMania, and that is just insane. I want to pick him, but I'm gonna go with Penta.
Okay.
I think I'm torn between him and Javon, but I think I'm gonna go Penta.
Yeah. Penta.
So Penta retain?
Yeah.
Well, just to be different, I agree with DB about Javon. I really like Javon. However, I don't think it's quite time yet. JD, I mean, I like JD, but this isn't no. Dragon Lee's going to be fun to watch.
Right.
Ray is here.
For a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, yeah. They let Ray in. He can call it what he wants and do what he wants. So they let him in.
Right.
You know what? Give me Rusev.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Give me Rusev. He's been quiet, but he had that little feud with Oba recently. And since then he's been quiet. I don't think that Penta retains. I'll say that. But so give me Rusev.
What do you think, Dylan?
Oh, it was Penta.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did go with Penta. Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing, if Dragon wins, I could see this being like a Zack Ryder situation where he loses it on Monday or something like that. But I don't know. I just don't think so. I think he's there to make sure this match turns out to be pretty good.
He's going to do something really cool. But yeah, I think he has a 1% chance of winning.
Yeah. All All right, next match, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, the blow-off. I guess Judgment Day is finally done after this, so feel like Finn probably needs this win big. The Demon's got to, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise it's just a punching bag. You know what I mean? So, give me Finn.
Yeah, I agree. You don't bring back Demon Finn Balor and then squander it. Why would you do that? That sounds so stupid. Unless you're TKO and you bring back random shit for no reason. But I obviously it's not gonna hurt Dom to lose, and Finn needs a win. He needs a win so bad.
Right.
So I think this win is going to catapult him to a good rest of 2026. And Demon Finn, to bring the Demon back, you need a win.
Yeah, I feel like you do.
Yeah, I'll keep this pretty quick. Triple H did a great job booking the Demon. Vince made the Demon an absolute joke. Vince is gone. Trips is back in charge. You don't advertise the Demon beforehand if it's going to lose. I wish they didn't advertise the Demon beforehand anyway. I wish he would have just showed up as the Demon. Have been a cool surprise. But yeah, there's no way. Unless they start the show on Sunday with, say, Vince McMahon is back in charge, there's no way Demon Finn is losing here.
Yeah, I do agree with that one point you made. I wish it would have been a surprise.
All right, and this one I'm wondering how everybody's going to go. So let's talk WWE Women's Championship match. Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley. It might not be popular, man, but I feel like Jade's going to retain here, and she's going to win clean. They're going to make her. They're going to.
I wouldn't, man,
at Rhea's expense. But, however, I'm not going to be I feel like we're all expecting Rhea to win. You know what I mean? So, and it's almost seems like a given. Oh, she's going up against Rhea. You know, Rhea's the top dog. I'm just saying I get that, but Jade's kind of a joke if she loses, right?
Jade is a joke.
I know. I know.
What are we talking about?
So we're trying to get her out. We're trying to get her out. She's here to stay. She ain't going.
Jade and her posse of mid-carders can go down and do something else. They can go all chase the U.S. championship. So give me Rhea.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't like seeing Jade with the title. I'm sorry.
I think it's time to get it off of Jade. She's had it since SummerSlam. Within the last couple of days, I've kind of started doubting that a little bit. Because there's something going on with Io and Rhea. They got to break up eventually. There's got to be some turn there eventually.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening at Mania. I haven't liked Jade since Brandon Phillips kicked Yachty in the side of the head, but that's a whole different story.
You're a baseball guy.
I'm gonna go Rhea. She hasn't had it in over a year. It's time to get the belt back on mommy.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got two more. Sami Zayn for the United States Championship match versus Trick Willie. This is just the beginning of the push for Trick. He wins this match. He gets some gold in WWE. He gets to run this for a little while. This will be a kind of a see how this goes with the title with Trick, to eventually put the big belt on him. So Big Trick beats Sami Zayn.
At the beginning of this match, before it begins, or maybe the two have already come out, and then you hear John Cena's music hit, the host of WrestleMania, and he comes out and he says, "Well, wait, guys, you're not going to do my guy Carmelo wrong like that. This is now a triple threat." And Trick Williams still wins. I think Trick Williams is going to win this match, but but that'd be cool if that happened.
Because they got history, man. Yeah, it's great. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
I thought Primo was going to say Cena comes out. There's one more entrance. And then the Hardy Boys music hits, and we do WrestleMania 33 all over.
I did hard for that.
I am going to go Sammy, and I think he cheats to win. I think that they got to just go full on the Sammy heel turn, and I think it works better if he keeps the title. Like if he loses the title and then turns heel, it could still work, but I think they keep the title on him. if he does lose it right now and they literally took it off of Mello for 3 weeks or whatever to put it on Trick instead of doing Trick and Mello, I am not going to be happy. But hey, there's a lot of stuff I'm not happy about right now, so we'll just add it to the list. But yeah, I'm going to go Sammy.
Yeah. All right, then Sunday night, the big one.
Acknowledge me.
CM Punk, the World Heavyweight Champion, versus Roman Reigns. How do you guys like this? The World Heavyweight Championship headlining Sunday night, not the Undisputed.
Thank God.
I mean? So yeah, I didn't know if
You're welcome, Phil. Roman did that for you.
Right. Yeah. So so I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. I mean, there's no way this match doesn't happen with shenanigans. You know what I mean? Without shenanigans, I don't think. I'd love to see it just be a one-on-one. You know, me versus you, man. So I went first through all these. I want to know.
I'll go first if you want.
Doing. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go first. So to touch on something you said there at the end about the shenanigans. Up until last night, I thought we were definitely going to see something because of how Punk just insulted all of these Samoans and hasn't really got a receipt for that. But he kind of apologized for that last night. You know, he was like, yeah, I respect your family. I shouldn't have said what I said about your dad. I just hate you so much, which is a weird apology. You know, I'm sorry because I hate you. But it worked. I think Saturday, like we touched on, I think Cody Randy, there's going to be a lot of BS in that. So I think they keep it pretty clean on Sunday, at least is my hope.
Right.
Unless Travis Scott comes out. When she is, maybe he should start making his entrance now so it's over by the time, you know, he's ready for the interference.
Yeah.
I don't want Punk to lose. I like Punk as champ. I'd like to see it continuing, but I'm going to pick Roman to win.
Primo?
Interesting pick. You know, CM Punk once told The Rock his arms are just too short to box with God. And after last night, he apologized to all the Samoans out there and just made it right with the whole Samoan dynasty. But maybe CM Punk still has one trick up his sleeve. We know he's actually an outstanding dastardly heel. Maybe he still has a trick up his sleeve and he just does what Cody never did and sells his soul to The Rock and wins the match when Roman's cousin comes and ruins the whole thing.
That would be sick.
Right.
So I choose CM Punk, unfortunately.
I'm wearing the Punk shirt and I picked Roman. You're wearing the Roman shirt and you picked Punk. What the heck is going on?
I want Roman to win. I just don't think it's going to happen.
All right. Let me tell you how I'm looking at this, boys. So this is TKO, right? You know, this ain't WWE anymore, you know, and I think, you know, if I'm looking at this match, okay, just to, you know, put a little something together for you, okay? Let's rewind a little bit. Me and Dylan just did an episode of DB's Territory Treasures. It was about Sting, right? And we talked about Sting's match against Triple H, you know, and Triple H, you know, when I'm looking at this match, you know, we talked about like, you know, Triple H or, you know, beating Sting to put the final nail in, you know, the coffin of WCW forever, right? But when I'm looking at this match, I see Roman as Triple H, and I see CM Punk, right, as Sting in this, you know, and I think, you know, Roman is, you know, he's still the tribal chief. You know, I think it's just time. It's just his time again. You know what I mean? And CM Punk's going to chase now for a while or go back to doing something else or whatever. But you know, I think the story doesn't end. But you know, Reigns, the moneymaker, the guy that was the champ for 1,317 days, whatever it was. You know, it's time for another run because I think they got so much story there with Paul Heyman left, with Roman, with Jey Uso, you know, with, you know, there's just so much still left there to tap on versus, say, if Punk wins, then it's just Punk versus this guy, Punk versus that guy. Yeah. There's too much needed, you know, storyline with Reigns as champ. You know, a lot of ways they can and things they can do. So just set up for the future. So
Yeah.
Business wise, it just makes sense for Roman to go out on top, and I think he's going to fucking win clean. I think
That
he's going to
sure would
spare
make
him
me happy.
and win and beat Punk
And-
clean. So
this is one of those like gigantic marquee CM Punk matches we talked about for those 10 years he was gone.
Yeah.
Man, imagine if they did Punk and Roman. We're finally getting it one-on-one. We had the triple threat last year, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, finally getting that one-on-one. As much as I'm not looking forward to Saturday's main event, I cannot wait for Sunday's main event.
I just feel like Punk after this goes back to being like the indie hero. He goes back to being like the underdog, the chaser.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he goes back to being like jealous of Roman again,
Yeah.
And we can still, go back to that later, but but I don't know that any match will be bigger between them two than this one. But hey, Nate, I'm sorry, man. I'd love to see Punk win, man. Illinois forever. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, good stuff. But I'm excited. I got a quick little something I want to show you guys before here. This is what's going on this week. Dylan's probably already seen this 1,000 times because he's ready for this kind of shit. But like this shows you where you can watch all the events. This is put out by wrestling-online.com. All the events for the week. I think I shared this in our text thread, today of where you can catch everything because they have so many. WWE, should I say, has so many different avenues and stuff of where to watch stuff. But we'll be back here in 1 week to talk about how everything went down and check and see how all our predictions went. But I'm excited for it, man. 2 long days of wrestling, but definitely looking forward to it. All right, boys, we've been talking a lot today. Let's get to it. It's time to go home. Let's hear a word from Dan Perch, Mr. Referee, before we go
Perch.
This is referee Dan Perch, and come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
I want to remind everybody to go follow at Sit Down Marks on all those social media podcast platforms out there, and subscribe at sitdownmarks.com. Head on over to Instagram and give Sit Down Marks podcast a follow. A brand new episode of Dreamwave Prelude is dropping here real soon on sitdownmarks.com, and it will include the results from Dreamwave Anniversary 11, which is available right now on IWTV. Dylan and I are going to break down everything that happened at Anniversary on Volume 9 of Dreamwave Prelude, so hang tight. That's going to be dropping here pretty soon in just a couple of weeks. Tickets are on sale right now for Dreamwave All-Star Weekend, Uprising 8 on June 19th. After Dark Walk of Shame later on, that on the 19th, and then the very next day, Eve of Destruction on June the 20th. All 3 brands of Dreamwave Wrestling, all in 2 days. Not even a weekend. It's all in 2 days.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that weekend. But let's talk about this weekend, Dylan. The Indy 3 shows to catch on the Indies this weekend. Now, normally Dylan does these for regular, weeks throughout the week, but this is Mania week, so there's a ton going on, right now. So a ton of shows happening this weekend for Mania, but he's going to give you 3 to watch here real quick.
Yeah, so I have got 24 or 25 in a spreadsheet of like shows I want to watch at some point. It will not be this weekend, and I keep finding out about new shows. My indie preview is already out for the week, where I highlighted 10 shows to watch over the weekend. Find that on my Twitter at DHakerJ15. But to narrow it down to just 3, nearly impossible. But I'm going to throw out Action Wrestling. The show is called "We Gambled Away the Graphics Budget." That is going to be my number 3 here. My number 2, got to go with the boys at St. Louis Anarchy, one of my home local promotions, making the trip out to Vegas for Mania week. And then number 1, the yearly tradition, I'm going Joey Janela Spring Break. We got Atticus Kogar defending against Hayabusa, the Sandman in his last match, going up against the Invisible Man. Effie and Alley catch in a loser leaves GCW a big ladder match, 8-person ladder match, Joey Janela versus Brody Lee Jr., all kinds of craziness happening at Joey Janela's Spring Break. So those are my 3. Like I said, there's so much going on, but make some time for Action Wrestling, for St. Louis Anarchy, and for Joey Janela Spring Break this week.
All right, and you can catch some of those on independentwrestling.tv. You can catch some on Triller.
So, all of the collective is going to be on Triller.
There you go.
It looks like most of them are on Triller. They put out a statement right as we went live, so I didn't get to really look at it. I think most of the IWTV ones, like your Anarchy, your Action, I think New Texas Pro might have been on that list. Apparently, the venue they're running at, they're all in like one venue. Apparently, the internet is not great there. So it looks like those aren't going to be live, but the VOD is going to be up like immediately after, if I read that statement correctly, that it got posted like right about the time we went live. So if you can't catch them live, they'll be up soon. And man, there's going to be more than enough wrestling to watch live this week. So we'll be okay.
I want to remind you, next Tuesday, we are live right back here with Post-Mania Fallout, so you can see how bad we did on our predictions. Also, May is right around the corner, and to kick off May, Primo's going to bless us with another Cheap Pops.
Yes, sir.
So looking forward to that. So coming up in May, that's what's coming up around the corner. I'm going to get you guys out of here on this, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of talked about it pre-pod. You might have already answered it. We'll answer it formally. So, yes, I'm busy this weekend, but had I not been busy this weekend, I want to ask you guys, you guys treat WrestleMania like the Super Bowl? Have some food, something, we got 2 nights, so we can do, 2 separate nights, but you treat it as important as the Super Bowl?
Oh, absolutely. Kind of what I was just touching on as far as the indies go. I have blocked off Wednesday through Sunday this week. I've said, hey, I'm not doing anything, not hanging out, no plans, nothing. I did my grocery shopping right before I got home today. I've got my WrestleMania cheesecake. We're doing chili. We're doing tacos. See, it's great because you just buy a bunch of junk food and you call it WrestleMania junk food. You eat unhealthy, but it's like Super Bowl. You got your Super Bowl wings or whatever. I got my WrestleMania cheesecake. It's we're going to eat a bunch of junk food and watch a bunch of wrestling.
Yeah, I agree. I actually do. I guess I do, because I make sure I'm unbothered. Like when I was asked earlier in the week about tea time this weekend, I said, I got to be back by 6, man. So yeah, I make sure I'm home, make sure I'm in place, make sure I got all my snackies. Got my I might make some queso this weekend.
Queso?
Yeah, have some bevies.
Sir.
It might be a good old time. And you know what? I might, just like I did this week, I might go in a little late next Monday too. Hell
yeah. All right. Well, looking forward to the weekend, man. Happy WrestleMania, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Come right back here. The audio will be available on Wednesday, but we'll be ready live on Tuesday night for you. Thank you for downloading and subscribing. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Want to welcome all our new listeners that are tuning in. The podcast has been gotten popular lately. So if you're new here, thank you for joining us. You're going to love it here. We're cool. Thank you guys so much. Want to appreciate everybody that's also been with us from the beginning. Keep spreading the good word of wrestling, people. For Primo and Dylan, we are the Sit Down Marks podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Adios.
Rest in peace, Berwyn Eagles Club.